Yeah.
Get washed out. This is how it feels, man. With my bright computer screens, I just look so pale. Look at that.
I think as everyone, there's no sun.
Yeah.
We haven't been really getting sun, apart from the
No, no,
weekend,
no.
unless you've been gaming too
I
hard.
don't know. No, I've been sunbathing a little bit.
Really? Doesn't show, bro.
Yeah. Oh, cheers.
Just messing.
Are you guys being told to go home if you actually are getting seen outside? Is the
Yeah.
police gonna tell you to go home?
Yeah, if we
Yeah.
get caught, yeah.
My
Fuck.
mum went to the supermarket yesterday and she got tailed by the cops.
Really?
Jesus.
Yeah, she got followed. It's quite
How are
funny.
you
Literally,
supposed to get your groceries then?
I don't know, man. Literally, our supermarket is like a 5-minute walk. So you literally drove for a minute and got tailed. So it's just like,
What?
mate, they're actually
Jesus.
out. They're actually out here trying to like give fines and that for everything.
I didn't get tailed. I drove the other day just for like 3-4 minutes to my auntie's just drop something off.
Yeah, it's pretty quick though. But were
Yeah,
you like
true.
late at night?
No, during the day, like 1 p.m.
All right, because I've heard that like around some supermarkets there's police outside, and they're checking people's bags to make sure what they got is necessary items, not like so it's stuff that
Really?
has to be
Actually
bought.
checking
Yeah,
them? Well, like
yeah,
imagine going to the shop just buying alcohol.
yeah. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Because that's all I've been going out to buy at the moment. So
Oh no, bro.
I go like late at night, so like I go just before they close. So I don't think there'll be anyone there, but maybe.
Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, maybe I'll get locked up.
Are they actually
I can't
checking
believe
bags?
it's like that.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
Apparently.
Alright, well, welcome. Today's
Yeah,
guest is
welcome.
Doodle. Daniel Hoyman Peterson.
What's up, guys? What's up?
He's in the building. He's in the
Glad
podcast.
to be on the #1 self-proclaimed man on the
Yeah.
show. Glad to be
Let's
on it.
go. Woo.
An absolute pleasure to have him on
It's
the
a
show.
pleasure.
Nice.
Today's
I'm not
gonna
gonna be very active in the chat, I mean, but
Yeah,
That's fine.
we yeah.
Today's gonna be a nice chill one. It's gonna be about growing up in a European country, learning 2 languages. I think most people watching the stream talked about before, obviously from the UK. So it's good to get a different perspective on the differences in learning 2 languages, just while growing up, going through school, obviously starting jobs and stuff. I think it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Differences in society, you know,
Yeah.
something different.
for sure.
One more thing. All right, cool. To get things started, Dan, we need a little background. Which European country do you live in?
Well, I live in Denmark. I'm 24 years old. I can just start by saying that. I'm 24 years old and I live in Denmark, just outside of Copenhagen, the capital of the country. I basically just moved here, so I've been actually used to living. I've lived on the countryside for a bit. I've lived just outside of like the big cities, but never like inside the big cities before. So where I live now is like the closest to being as central as possible as I've ever been. But yeah, just always been in Denmark. Yeah.
Nice. Population-wise, what's it looking like in Denmark?
Ooh, I would say like 6.5 mil.
Is that it?
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah.
For
Wait,
real.
is that even London?
No,
No,
that's smaller than
No,
London.
no, not even. Like that's.
No.
I think Wales has something like 4 mil, and Scotland has like 6.
Right.
Okay, so a lot less than the UK,
Yeah.
obviously, as a whole.
I don't even know.
Scotland's 5.5. Yeah.
Okay.
But Scotland is like I feel like Scotland is way bigger than Denmark is. So
Really?
I
Actually,
think
they look pretty similar. Like.
I think the area of Denmark is like 46,000 square kilometers.
It does look way smaller than I thought it was.
Wow, yeah. Oh
Right,
yeah,
I
you're
didn't
right.
realise.
It might be close. It'll be close.
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
So you're obviously looking on the map.
Crazy.
Denmark's got 2 main islands by the looks of it, just joined by some bit of land.
Right. And I'm on that right one. I'm on the right island.
Yeah, the one that connects to Malmo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's it. Because that's where. Do you ever go across that bridge where they filmed that show, the bridge? Famous bridge.
I mean, I think I've been across it before. I've been to
Yeah.
Sweden like twice or 3 times, I think. But from here, like from where I am now, it's actually easier to go to Sweden than it is to go to my work. Well, like it takes longer to go to work for me than it takes to go to Sweden.
Seriously.
Yeah, I live like right next to Sweden.
Damn.
Yeah.
Is there no like border patrol or border like sort of when you cross the bridge? Is it not like a passport control?
I mean, I'm pretty sure there is. I mean, if you take the car, I think if you take the car, go under the tunnel, it's like a massive tunnel that leads that goes under the water. And I think once you get on the other side of that, inside Sweden, you have to show your passport. Yeah.
That's so cool.
But I think it's pretty smooth to go back and forth. I mean, there's
Yeah.
people commuting every day.
Yeah, I can
I
see
really
there's
want to. I really want to visit there.
two.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so obviously, growing up in Denmark, I'm guessing, for me and Finn, for example, when we're in primary school, we have the option of choosing a language to learn. Usually for us, it's French or German. Um, maybe
Right.
Spanish in some schools, but most of the time it's French or
Wait,
German.
primary.
Yes, this is the option. You don't get forced. This is just optional.
Wait, no, hold on, because mine was different. So primary, so like primary is year 3 to 6, yeah.
So for Dan, that's like 7 years old to
That's
11 years
7 to
old.
11. Yeah.
Yeah, because we have a different system. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
7
So
to
from
11.
7 to 11, did you get choice? Because I didn't get choice.
In primary
Wait,
school, I did, yeah. It wasn't mandatory,
really?
yeah.
Mate, I didn't get Spanish either. There was French and there was nothing else.
Okay. Well, I had French or nothing, so I could choose to do French after school. It wasn't during lesson time. It was after school club.
Oh, really? You didn't
Yeah.
have it?
It
I see.
wasn't during the school.
I had it during lessons, but it was once a week, like an hour.
Wow.
That's it.
Mine
Like
was after school once a
negligible.
week. Yeah.
After school.
Yeah.
You
So
did that. You did that by choice.
yeah, because I quite enjoyed French. So yeah,
Damn. All right.
I was a little nerd.
Hmm.
So obviously yeah. So that's for primary school. We do like French, I guess, or throughout the UK, French, German, Spanish is the main ones.
Yeah.
And then you get to secondary, and for me, it was mandatory. You have to take French, German, or both. There was no Spanish for me, but some schools have Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah, we just did French and French or Spanish or
Um,
both.
and that's usually
I think-
mandatory for 3 years. And then
Okay.
you can drop it or carry on till the end.
Okay.
So
So
That's from 11 to 16.
I think it might depend on like what staff the school has, because I feel like at my school we couldn't choose anything besides German, because of I think it was because of the staff that was available. There's no one there to teach like French. There's no one there to teach Spanish or anything.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's why we only had the option of choosing German. In year 7, so that was when we were like what 13.
but year
I
7.
don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
12
we
for
we,
us, I
we
think.
I think we started in year 4 with having English. So like by the age of 10, that's when we started English.
Okay.
And then
So with English, is it mandatory? You get forced to do it, or is it
yeah,
optional?
it's mandatory. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That's so. Before you started your English classes, did you know any English at all?
I mean, not really. No, I guess I was just super average. I hadn't really like. So if I was like 10 years old, then I probably because I started gaming with people like online in 2011. I would say.
Yeah.
I think 2011 was like the first time I started talking to people online. So 9 years ago, I would have been 15. Yeah. So that would have been like the first time in school with me learning English.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if you started learning at like 10, how long did it take before? So I'm assuming like I mean, from what we're hearing, like you're pretty fluent. You're just fluent right now.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy given that Ben could probably agree with me here that when we're just sort of learning our languages in school, we never even got close to fluency.
Yeah.
Like
No chance.
unless you're doing like a university degree, there was no chance that the language you were doing was just going to become like fluent throughout your work.
Right. And that's obviously because it's English is like the biggest language I would say in the world, right? I mean, with our perspective, it is the biggest language. I mean, everyone speaks it. Everyone it's like the neutral. If two people don't understand each other, they kind of like try English. I feel like
Yep.
Yeah.
with a lot of languages. So obviously, how much English is a part of the daily lives of everyone here in Denmark as well. It's natural that most people become quite fluent in English. So school is one thing, but then like all the stuff, all your inputs, your English inputs in your daily lives affect your like how good you become the language.
Okay, so in Denmark,
Um,
you still have people like trying to talk to you or interact with you in English.
what do you mean?
So just going about your daily life, did you have people trying to talk English to you, or was it
No,
no?
no.
So it was just
Wow.
purely
But it's just like TV, movies, like
right. Okay,
video games for me a lot. You know, I think
damn. Okay,
I swear I've learned so much just from speaking to people online. That's what's helped me a lot.
Yeah. We'll get into that. We'll move on to it.
Yeah, but I'm saying
okay,
like
Yeah.
that's school is one thing, but everything else besides that, like with medias and all that, that's why people learn English. honestly.
Yeah. So for you, you started at 10 years old, and then all the way to, I'm guessing, the end of high school, you had to do English.
Yeah, yeah,
So
in
how
high
many
school
is
as
that?
well.
Is that 8 years from year? Yeah, 10 to 18, I'm guessing.
Yeah, about 8 years.
So if me and Finn, for example, did that, well, I pretty much did. I did from I did 7 years old to 16, so 8 years, 9 years, and I came
Did you
out.
really?
Yeah, yeah. So from year 3 to year 11,
Of what?
um,
German?
French,
Oh,
You
and
had
I
You have 8 years of French.
not 9, yeah, 9, and
Jesus.
I
damn.
could not speak fluently.
Can you speak right now?
All I can remember genuinely is like bonjour, je m'appelle Spencer, et j'ai 20 ans. I'm 20 years old.
Really?
I think if I can read, to be fair, I can read a lot of French, but if someone
Right.
spoke to me in French, I could not understand you.
That's so weird. That
Um,
is.
yeah,
See,
so
that's again because you didn't have the thing secondary to it. You only had the school, which is like it's
Yeah.
just a
exactly,
small part of
exactly.
learning a language. You have to like surround yourself with a language outside of school as well, which I suppose you didn't.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I went to
Yeah,
school, learnt French for like an hour, went home, did some homework, that's it.
yeah,
I didn't have anything to like properly put it in my head. I
right.
didn't watch films in French, I didn't read books.
Yeah. See, maybe that's where we just sort of lacking of the media from outside of English language. We basically, as a country, we're pretty like blind to that, quite ignorant of it, aren't we? We kind of just consume stuff that's English and that's it. Like, if we consumed other stuff, we'd probably be far more proficient in languages as a baseline.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's because English is obviously, like Dan said, like one of the most talked languages, especially in the Western world. It is the most talked language. Obviously not in the
Yeah,
Eastern, but Western world it is. So, I'm
Actually, I
guessing
think
it's just natural that you guys don't
exactly.
speak anything else. To be fair,
Do you think it's just is that
I
like
mean,
the
I think that's a bit natural. I mean, because we're learning English because it's like the most spoken language in over here, uh, in the Western side of society, as you said. So I mean, if that is number one spoken, surely it's natural that you guys only speak English, right?
yeah, true.
Um,
yeah,
it's not like you need to learn another language because you're sorted. You're basically sorted, but you need to learn English to be fair. If you don't grow up in
yeah.
England or on the US,
But then I feel like because everyone else in the world is making such an effort to learn our language and a language that is so universally used, I feel like it's sort of ignorant of us to not like try and learn another language. Like, it makes
yeah,
me want to learn other languages more because then you think like, okay, maybe I should just put some more effort in and show that I do care about that stuff, care about stuff outside the English language. Or that's just how I thought before.
yeah, I get you. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, it's about like what inspires you. I mean, if you're inspired by people who speak two or three or even more languages, then yeah, go for it. You can see it as a hobby, but not as a necessity. As I
Yeah,
said, you don't really need it, right?
yeah,
Um, so sure, it's a hobby.
definitely.
yeah. So the thing for me is, obviously for me and Finn, we're obviously from UK. Well, let's say we go abroad to a European country, and we don't speak their language. Like we don't speak.
Mm,
Let's say we go to Spain, don't speak Spanish.
I
yeah,
speak a bit of Spanish.
Okay, but we don't speak fluent Spanish. We know a bit.
Okay,
Okay,
yeah,
let's do an
yeah.
example where you don't speak any of the language, like Finland. We don't
Germany.
speak any Finnish. All right.
Okay.
Do you? Is there like a what's the word? Trying to think of the word where.
Cognates.
Oh nah, it's not the word.
Just describe it.
Like, I can't, it's not. It's a word that you can't describe. Is there like?
Okay.
I'm guessing like where the locals of that country have like sort of an image of the English people where they think we're lazy and don't bother to learn their language. That's what I'm trying to get across.
Right.
So
Okay.
like, let's say Dan, if I came to your country and I
mm.
didn't speak Danish, do you think is there already like that sort of view on the English people that we can't be bothered to learn any other language? Do they think like do European countries have like a collective thought that we think we're a bit lazy?
I mean, I don't. I mean, I can't expect you to come here and try and learn Danish, honestly, because that's such a niche language, you know.
Right.
It's not a lot of people speaking it. It's not really. I think it's a hard language to learn probably. So it's not like we expect it from you to even try, honestly. But I mean, I don't know. It depends on the language. I feel like if you wanted to live in another country, let's say you wanted to like actually move to France or Spain, like one of the big countries with big languages, I feel like it should be expected of you to give it a try to learn it.
Yeah.
Um, but if you're just visiting, I mean, I think it depends on the language. Because in Denmark, it's as I said, there's not a lot of people. It's very niche, and I don't
Yeah.
think it's expected of you at all.
Because it's different for us. Because if someone comes to our country and they can't speak the language, there's quite a lot of racism towards that person because they're like, you'll see a lot of comments and stuff online where people are like, "Oh, you're coming to our country, but you can't speak our own language. Why are you here?"
Yeah,
But I
I
didn't.
don't think it's that bad here. No.
Okay. But I know for like you said, the bigger countries like Spain and France, if we try and go over there and we can't really speak the language, we do get looked down upon as
Yeah, maybe.
lazy. I think that's sort of. I feel like the European countries think we are sort of a lazy nation in that aspect.
I think it's like they like to sort of mock us in a way because I think it's just they enjoy the irony that whenever so if a Spanish family went to the UK and couldn't speak English, then they people would probably be like, "Oh, I can't understand you. Why are you speaking Spanish?" But then as soon as we come to Spain and we can't speak any Spanish, they're kind of just like, "Oh, look at these guys. Look at these fools. They can't speak a word of Spanish. They come here on holiday and they can't do anything." I feel like sometimes it's not necessarily just like just people being horrible. It's just sort of being in that, just sort of almost enjoying the fact that they've got sort of this power of this conversation. And it might take the
Right.
mick out of you a little bit. Might be like, oh, silly English people don't know a word of Spanish, that kind of thing, because they've got that language barrier that they can hide behind.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
I think it depends on where in the country you go as well. If you go into like the capital cities, big cities, they're gonna be like a bit more forgiving maybe because they're a bit more in touch maybe. But if you go to some local cities like with no tourism or anything, they're not gonna probably not gonna understand English and they're gonna expect you to speak their language.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, that's crazy. Just going back to the point that we made before of us growing up and learning languages. For you, Dan, was there ever a point where so you're 10 years old, you go and sit down to your class. They say, "Oh, today you're learning English." Did you ever have that thought of like, "Oh, why do I have to learn another language?" Or were you always up for it?
No, I feel like I was always up for it. Because I think even like say in third grade, just a year before, we were kind of like getting excited for next year. Let's go, we're gonna have English. Um, so it's I think it's always been a subject that's very popular in schools among kids. Because
Wow.
yeah,
That's
because
surprising.
Yeah,
I, I,
that's complete opposite for us.
I think English is yeah, but that's like yeah, but again, if I say that, I don't think Danish class is like very popular at all. We obviously have Danish classes here, right? Like you have English classes, so it's the same
Yeah.
thing. We're not. I mean, I think a lot of people are looking much more forward to having an English class in Denmark than having a Danish class because that's just like just maybe boring literature and all that. And English is a bit more exciting maybe in the beginning because it's something fresh. And by that age of 10, you kind of like already been introduced to it a little bit, especially now with how many kids are growing up with iPads and like Fortnite and I don't know what. They're already introduced to the English language, before
Yeah,
they go
yeah.
to school. So they
Yeah.
already know a bit. So now they can just refine it, which is good for them.
Damn.
That's
Okay.
crazy for us because I feel like a lot of people I know that a lot of people, let's say in my year when we had to choose a language, even French or German, so many kids were like, nope, can't be bothered.
100%. Yeah.
They'd much rather
Yeah.
just stick learning. I mean, even English was a bit because we had to do literature obviously, and then we had to do like language, studying the language as a whole.
Yeah.
But
I feel like our English classes were more like widely enjoyed by
yeah,
people. Like I feel like a lot of people who were taking like Spanish and French, or at least in my experience, they just took it as a joke class. Like they weren't taking it seriously because it
yeah,
was just time to goof around. Because I think in the time, so it's changed now for people that are the kids that are studying now. But when we were about, you didn't have to do it. There wasn't compulsory as a GCSE, so like as an exam subject, if you didn't do very well in it before the GCSE started. So a lot of people just kind of just couldn't be bothered and then just intentionally did badly so that they didn't have to take it for the GCSEs.
Okay. I
so
mean, that's a shame. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
that's what it is.
I think it's
Yeah,
crazy how the mindset's just different. Because I feel like even if we got, let's say, like a French person or a Spanish person, obviously they're forced to do English as well because it's the most spoken language, like we said. And it's crazy how the mindset's different compared to everyone in the UK. I can't say everyone, but a lot of the people in the UK cannot be bothered to learn another language, whereas everyone else is so excited to learn that, to learn
yeah,
English,
Yeah.
which is
But I think
yeah,
yeah,
go for it.
it's just because of like how as I kind of like touched on earlier, I think it's just that neutral language that you kind of like. It's the middle ground language of people who don't understand each other. They kind of like try and converse in English, maybe. I think it's just such an important one to know. I don't know, and
No,
because
Yeah.
everyone is getting English inputs in their daily lives. Like if you live in a big city, how can you not see any type of English at all during your day? So people are involved in it. I mean, I don't know. I think it's good to learn.
yeah. Um, okay, so obviously you've learnt Danish, you've learnt English.
Yeah,
Um, I know you're obviously learning another language now, Spanish.
yeah. I'm
Have
studying
you
Spanish
found
now.
it easier to learn another language since you've already learnt two?
I think in some way, yeah, because it depends on like if you're good at like the grammar stuff. If you understand the structure of like other languages, then you can see the similarities in like learning a new one, right? And it's obviously like because I feel like learning because I had German in primary school as well. I didn't take it seriously at all. So now that I have Spanish, it's like almost like completely fresh experience of trying to learn a new language because I don't even think about me having like studied English and like learned it. It's just kind of happened growing up. To
Mm,
be honest, that's how I feel about it. So now it's like the first time where I'm actually like proper like heads down, like, trying to like understand the theory, like theory of the language, and like then also have to like see like watch all the media. Like we talked about shows, movies, and listen to music and all that. You have to like proper effort outside of school to learn it. So I feel like you can kind of take some pointers from before, especially if you understood the grammar as well. But
mm,
also like, yeah, I mean, a lot, especially like the European languages are so like similar in a way. So if you understand the structure of one type of language, you can understand the structure of the other one as well easier.
Mm.
It
As
definitely helps.
as Danish is like a Germanic language and English is, to a degree, is it quite different learning sort of like one of the Romantic languages like Spanish, which is, quite structurally different? Was it very different?
Yeah, it's super different. I mean,
Okay.
uh, it can obviously become quite technical, but there's just like so many differences in the way we use the words. I mean, I don't know. It's very different Spanish from something like Danish and even English. I feel like,
Yeah, yeah,
um,
definitely.
but I mean, all of it, you kind of just have to like pick up on a ton of words, and then you also have to like learn how to use them. In your daily lives. Because if you understand like the theory very well, but you don't have a lot of like um well, I'm trying to look for a word here. Like you don't have all the
Application?
yeah, I mean like just like say like I don't know how to say spoon in Spanish. I don't know how to say like mouse in Spanish. I don't know how to say like different words, but I know how to use them if I do hear them.
Yeah,
So that's when you need to like just even like go to the country and just like surround yourself with it constantly. That's when you pick up a lot of words and then you learn how to use them
okay.
beforehand maybe if you study
Yeah.
it.
Are you learning Spanish? Like, is it self-taught? Are you on some?
It's a university. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
studying
okay. So you're
Spanish
doing
at
it as a
uni.
degree.
Yeah,
Damn. Okay. So how many years is it?
I'm on my first year, and
Okay.
it's gonna be like 3 years bachelor and then another 2 years if you choose to go even further with it.
Yeah. Okay. Damn. That's sick.
Yeah.
yeah. So obviously with learning languages for us, just going back, we have to do four tests. So the four tests are listening in that language, speaking in that language, reading in that language, and then
Yeah.
writing in that language. Is that similar to the structure you have?
I mean, I don't think it's that separated really.
It's all combined in one.
Right now, if you wanna, are you talking about like how you like your
No,
procedure,
so
like
how? So exams for us. That's what our exam. So my exam was either
exams?
listening one, a reading one,
Yeah.
a writing, and then a speaking.
I mean, right now we have like two exams. So we have Spanish split up into two subjects, which is one is like culture and history, and
Yeah.
the other one is like the grammar, like just like the actual language.
Yeah.
So that's just two exams.
Wow. So everything's just combined as a whole.
Kinda, yeah, yeah.
I guess that's probably makes sense for a degree level subject
True.
though.
Yeah.
Like obviously it's like way more advanced than GCSEs, so it's probably more logical that it's put together and not separated out as sort of
But you
structurally
could
as
you could
we have
argue
it.
that that was why people got bored. Like it was just so easy. Because I remember in like learning that language, we'd spend so long in just verbs, like things that we learned within a lesson. We spent weeks on them for no reason. Like so we'd have
You
like
think?
yeah. So we'd learn these verbs and then we get tests on them. and then we learn some more, get tested all on all of them again. That would last
Yeah.
like a month long, and that's just like listening, and then we'd have to do reading, and then we'd have to do writing. I think like splitting it all up just longs it all out.
I don't know, because I disagree, because I thought that I feel like when you only have a couple hours a week to be exposed and to learn a language, and the rest of the time it's sort of just leaking out your head, like you're not actually revising it. Because
Yeah.
as I know, I don't know if you did it, Spence, but like I did not, when I wasn't having my Spanish classes and I didn't have my Spanish homework, I wasn't doing Spanish.
No.
So
Yeah.
like
Same. Yeah.
that
Same.
knowledge was like leaving my brain. So I think for the small amount of time that we had in school to actually like do the work on the language, we had to put down the basics. Because if you try and throw in more complex stuff, or you move on too quick, especially in like a school environment where people learn at different paces, you're just going to end up forgetting more than you can remember, and you're just going to end up at a place where you can't even remember the basics. So I feel like for me it kind of worked, because if like if I went back to Spanish now, like I can recall a good amount, like more than, I don't know how it works, but I feel like I can recall like quite a bit of Spanish, even though I haven't done it since GCSE. But
Yeah.
if I went back to learning it, I feel like I could pick it up quicker now because I already know the basics.
Okay. Makes sense. Yeah. Maybe that's why I got bored of it because I don't know how you did in your exam, but I got an A star in my French, and it's
I
like
was not good.
okay.
I was not that good. I was
Oh.
not that good.
Well, I remember for me, listening to actually people saying it was the hardest because, like Dan said, well, for Dan, he had actually experience in English, whereas the only time I had
Yeah,
experience was when the teacher pressed play on the cassette player.
literally. Yeah. See,
That's the only
that's the
time I heard
problem.
French.
It's
Yeah.
like Dan said, like as a country that lives, as a European country that doesn't speak English as a primary language, they're obviously going to have so much media that is in English, and we have the choice to listen to to like French or Spanish media, but we kind of just like, it's obviously like there's less of it, but it's still doable. But we're kind of just overwhelmed with this English media, and then also we're just sort of like comfortable staying within learning English. I think just as like a mindset, we're not really motivated to learn outside that, because just like Dan said again, it's the baseline for like communications between people who don't understand each other. So as
Yeah.
long as you know that language, you can sort of rely on it. But then I think that kind of, like you said, Ben, it kind of makes us a little bit lazy in the way that we can get a little bit too comfortable. We don't make the sort of leaps to consume more media like Dan did. Going online and watching English TV. Like we don't do that with Spanish or French or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's
exactly.
like passively learning it, honestly. It's not that you don't even have to go out of your way, because there's always like English movies and television. There's always like stuff going on the internet, you know. Uh, so it's just like passive learning, to be honest, most of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think that's the learning we missed out on, to be honest,
exactly.
Spence.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's not a lot
yeah,
of. I guess it's because French isn't. English is the main language, like you said. So from that aspect, it's probably easier picking up and learning it as a second one rather than us going out and learning French without living there,
Mm.
or even like living with or knowing French people.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. So obviously, Dan, you said learning English in a classroom is obviously different to actually learning it practically, and you said you
yeah,
refined your English through gaming. One of the sort of like
yeah.
background story. Let us know how that went and how it came about, really.
Yeah. I mean, I think in 2011, I kind of like didn't. I didn't. I mean, I obviously I played video games from when I was like 5 or 6 years old, probably even before then, and I didn't understand a word of what I was doing. Like,
Yeah.
so I knew Danish, but and I could read it, but I couldn't read anything what I was doing. I was just like, okay, this button kind of like does this, but I never knew what I did. So in like 2011, I would say I kind of like discovered this button saying multiplayer, and then from then on, I just kind of heard people talk online, and then I started interacting with them, and then made some friends. Talked to some people, some squeakers back then. Uh, uh, and then, so yeah, that was a really good supplement to having English in school. Honestly, even better than it honestly it honestly taught me more than school could ever do.
Really? So is
I would
that
say so, yeah.
impactful?
Very impactful,
I'm
yeah.
I'm guessing
And the
because
way I kept up with it, throughout like all these past 9 years, I've just been gaming a lot, talking to a lot of people online. So that has absolutely refined it. Done more for the language than school could ever do.
yes.
Yeah.
So comparing yourself to your classmates, could you see a clear difference in your English capability compared to theirs?
I mean, I would say I was like in the top of the class. Maybe I don't know if I was number one or anything, but I was in the top. But
Wow.
some of the other people in the top weren't necessarily like, I wouldn't say they played video games or anything, but I mean, it depends on like it doesn't. It's tough to say like what defines someone as like a good language learner. But it definitely helped. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean grades wise, that's the best way you can view it in school. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And I did well in English class.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome to hear how gaming has. I mean, just communication online has actually helped
Yeah,
you
it could be
learn
in anything,
English.
you know. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It
yeah,
could
of
be like
course.
you find some common interest with people online, and then you just start talking to them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, that's something that me and
yeah,
Finn obviously never got the opportunity. I'd never met
Yeah.
anyone French. Came on, I could speak to every day, practice my French, listen to it.
Yeah, like you can't reliably find like a large community of people that speak like Swedish or French or German. Well, I mean, you probably could if you tried, but as an English person, like it's just a bit trickier, especially in like more general multiplayer. Just sort of if you just jumping into like a Call of Duty lobby
mm,
and then you hear someone speaking German, like it's just tricky to sort of get into that circle. But I
yeah,
guess just because there's so many more people speaking English, it was probably just quite easy for you.
yeah. I think so. And obviously, school gave me the basic tools, and then I just kind of like used that, and when I came home, you could say, right?
Yeah,
That's perfect, yeah. So obviously you're doing Spanish as a degree at university.
Mm,
What
right.
inspired you to learn that third language? Because you've already got two. That's more than a majority of people. Actually, I'd say it's pretty
yeah.
average, to be fair. Compared to,
Do
Two. Yeah. I
you think?
mean,
I
I
feel like
guess
two
yeah.
in the majority of the world is quite average, but for the UK, that's quite rare, I'd say.
Mm.
Um, what inspired you to that third one? What sort of sparks that sort of interest?
I mean, I just think Spanish as a language has always been like really cool. I've always like really always liked the culture of it, and I think the Spanish. I think it's just like down like just basics of Spanish. It just sounds like a cool language. I think it's pretty cool, and I've always wanted to learn it. So now I kind of saw my chance because I feel like I was good. I've always had an interest in learning language. I feel like I've been good at it, so I feel like this was a good opportunity for me. I've never really known like what I wanted to do, sort of like a job, but now I think I'm kind of like closing in on maybe becoming like a teacher. Uh, so I think I wanted to like specialize in like language teaching, and obviously I needed another language because you need to. I mean, I could have taught like Danish and English as two languages, but
Yeah,
I did want to do like foreign languages, and then Spanish was just like the most obvious one for me. Um, so yeah, I mean, not really. I just like you need to have your heart in it, and I kind of just like found an interest in that language. Yeah,
yeah, that's awesome. Because obviously for me and Finn, like getting the inspiration to do a language, I guess I'm speaking on behalf of both of us, but I find it quite hard to sort of push myself and actually dedicate and learn that language, unless I have like you
right.
said, the heart for it or like an actual a target for it. There's no way of me actually going out my way and learning it because
Yeah,
it's just so out of our way, really.
it's just like Dan said. Like you gotta if your mind's in it and your heart's in it, then I think it's got to be like a personal thing. So like I'm trying to learn Swedish just purely like not out of because of like I've just randomly picked Swedish and I want to be good at it. I want to learn Swedish because I'd like to move to Sweden or like I'd like to
Right.
travel in Sweden, that kind of thing. So like I feel like if you give yourself a goal, but it's got to be like quite self-driven for you to be able to sort of fully embrace that language and learn it properly like the way you have. Yeah.
Because you do need to go out of your way to learn it. It's not like I mean I have to like even do more than I do now. I have to watch more movies. I have to listen to more music, Spanish music. Uh, but best way to do it is honestly just go to the language, stay there for a longer period of time. That's
Mm.
the best way. That's the best way you can learn it, honestly.
Yeah. So
Uh,
that's what you're doing with Spanish, right? Is
yeah, I'll do that next year. I'll be studying in Madrid for from like February to June, kind of like that.
wow, that's cool.
So you're just going to
Uh,
be a uni student in Madrid.
yeah,
Okay, cool.
because my uni has like a partnership program with a university in
Yeah,
in Madrid. Yeah,
got you. Cool.
yeah, yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
I'll do my second or like half of my second year there.
That
Yeah.
sounds sick.
So that's one thing that languages have, like the advantage that they can create cool opportunities within other countries that you can never have just by having English.
Oh,
I
Yeah,
think
100%.
that's something that we're missing out on by not learning another language. So if you
Mm.
wanted to obviously work in another country like Spain, like France, you'd obviously have to know quite a bit of that language.
mm,
And I think it creates cool opportunities for you to travel as well. You
yeah,
get,
definitely.
yeah, living there for a bit is awesome.
I mean, there's a lot of people speaking Spanish, right? I mean, you have most of Latin America as well,
True.
and
Yeah, I
then
forgot about that. Yeah.
Spain. Obviously, there's some colonies in Asia that speak Spanish, so
Yep.
Yeah.
it opens a lot of doors for traveling. Yeah,
I think it's the second most spoken language actually behind Mandarin, like
you think
worldwide.
so?
Or
You think it's
Yeah, I
Spanish.
think it
Spanish?
is. Yeah,
What,
I
ahead of
think it's
English?
It could be,
Mandarin,
yeah.
Spanish, then English. I think it is.
It could
Because
be.
I did a
Wow.
quiz the other day, and I'm pretty sure that was the result. So yeah, they're both, like, Spanish is a huge language.
I guess to be fair, you only have. I mean, you have a couple. You have like, yeah, okay. I was gonna say you have two, but you also have Australia, South Africa, and then that speaks
Yeah,
English. But there's a lot of like just a lot of countries. Maybe some you don't even think about that speak Spanish.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just the last point I want to speak on English, Dan. So obviously you played a bit of Halo. That's how we met.
Yeah.
That's why. That's how we're here.
That's the love story.
That's a love story.
That's all it is.
Would you, is it obvious to say that without English you wouldn't have got as far as you got in Halo? Was English like if you didn't speak as good English as you did at the time, would you have got as far? What do you think?
Probably not, because you obviously need people to introduce you to the scene.
Yep.
And so the friendships I've made, they introduced me to people that knew people, and then you kind of get it into the community that way. So if I didn't speak English that well, they wouldn't have accepted me as well as they did, perhaps.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, I mean, obviously, that makes them sound like they're unfriendly towards people that don't speak the language well. But it's just natural that
Natural.
you
Yeah.
vibe better with people that you speak well with.
Yeah.
So I think it's helped a lot, to be honest. It's not really something I've thought of before, but I think it actually did. Yeah.
Yeah. That I think that's awesome to see how a language has actually got you so far within gaming. Obviously, made some friendships that you never thought you'd make, like online friends and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's cool to see how a language can actually like create all these experiences for you that you never thought you could have.
Mm.
Yeah, moving on to the next point I want to talk about is growing up in Denmark, obviously, and compared to the UK.
Right.
So me and Finn, obviously 20, a couple years younger than you.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
24.
So with the drinking age in Denmark, is it 18 or is it 21?
16. 16 to
Wait,
buy
16?
16 to buy alcohol under 15%.
Damn.
What?
And then
Ooh.
and then 18 to buy everything.
Wow. Okay. So
Literally everything.
I'm just gonna talk on Finn's behalf again, but for me, anyways, obviously, well, it's between 16 and 18. For us, we have to be 18 to buy it. So we're year 11, first year of college or high school, second year of high school. We couldn't get alcohol unless we had our parents get it or friends that
Yeah.
are older than get it. So
Yeah.
how sort of the ways did you ever sort of drink underage, or were you not involved in that
I
at
feel
all?
like I did. I feel like I started when I was like, I feel like my first experience with it was probably like at the age of 14.
Yeah, yeah,
And then I think that's very natural here.
yeah, yeah. That's fair
Age
enough.
of
Yeah,
14, 15,
yeah,
you kind of
Yeah, I
like
think it's the
start doing
same.
your just before you quit primary school and you start high school. That's kind of like when we did our first kind of private house parties.
wow,
Um,
yeah,
I feel like I can't remember who bought the alcohol then, but it was there. You just showed up and there was alcohol, so you drank it.
wow.
Uh, it was probably this guy's parents, to be honest. He did a lot of the house parties. His parents were large. But I feel like no, yeah, it's just that's very natural to start when you're like 14, 15. But I think you can only legally buy it from 16. Yeah, pretty sure.
I think I had the same thing here. Like, I don't know about you, Spencer, but like, I like, just like Dan said, the parties pretty much started at like age 14. People started having house parties, and then you'd sort of go there, and suddenly there's just alcohol there. You don't know where it come from. You're like, okay, shit. Like, I didn't drink until I was 18, but I'd go to all these house parties, and I'd be sober, and everyone would just be like pissed. Like, as a 14-year-old, just watching 14-year-olds get pissed. Like,
Yeah.
one bottle of beer, they could barely stand. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
I wasn't.
It
I
was so
wasn't.
fun.
Yeah.
It was just so fun that time because you hadn't seen your friends like that before. You hadn't
Yeah,
seen them. You just saw new sides of your friends completely.
definitely.
Yeah, I wasn't cool enough to get invited to those parties, so I missed out,
Ah,
unfortunately.
peak.
At the time, I was
You're
not cool
you're
enough.
too busy grinding
I was
Halo,
too
mate.
busy. No, I was playing COD at the
No,
time.
that was cut at the time. Yeah.
I was
Okay.
too busy. Not. I was in my man cave, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's cool to see how obviously Denmark has different age there. Is the age of consent the same? I'm guessing as us.
15 here.
What?
Oh,
A bit lower. Okay.
What's yours?
I was a 16, so it's not too
Oh
bad.
yeah, okay. No.
That's
I'm pretty
crazy
sure
to
it's
see.
15. Yeah,
it's not. It's not any America at least.
America's completely different, isn't it? It's got
yeah
varies
that's
in different county,
It's
right? Or
per yeah, it's
state.
per state. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
it's weird.
Um. So obviously here, when let's say we go to a job, or we go outside to buy something from the shop, and it has VAT, so which is tax for us, we pay 20%. Do you have any sort of tax on like clothes that you have to buy over there, or is it just like you see the price, that's what you pay?
You see the price, that's what you pay.
What?
I've never thought about anything like that. No. So what?
That's
Do you have two prices? Do you have a thing that
Yeah,
says
yeah.
like,
So we have prices on clothes and food, and I think it's just most things. It's just most of our items here, right?
Yeah, it's mostly just consumer goods, but it's different to the US because the US have tax, right? But they have prices, and then when you go up to the till and you stack all your stuff up, they like add it up, and then they automatically add tax on top. So you don't actually know like the full price of what you're buying until
wow,
you've got to the till. But here it's different. Like the price is included in the price of the goods. So like it's probably the same as you guys. Whatever the price you see on the shelf, that's what you're paying. But that is tax included as well. Like
yeah,
that's not the normal price.
I think I know the equivalent in Danish, yeah, but so but the price is actually the price you're paying.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
Thank
makes sense.
God it's
Yeah,
not like the other thing you said.
yeah,
Jesus.
yeah.
yeah. I know. I don't know why America does that, and
That's
I don't think
nuts.
they know why they do that. Like it's
No.
a stupid system. It's a stupid system.
Wow.
Yeah. So also,
Imagine not knowing what you're paying before you get up there.
Yeah, I know.
Like you
You're
got
just
your
like, I've not
calculator.
got enough.
Yeah.
I've not got enough, man.
Jesus.
another wild ball question. Just so when we work, let's say me and Finn go to a job, we're working, we're earning. Let's say, I think the tax bracket is like 25. Is it 25 or 26k?
It went up, or did it go down recently? Like the lowest one, I think it might be 24.
Or is it down?
Uh,
So obviously,
I'm.
mm,
Hold on, I'll get it up.
okay. Well, obviously, when we're working, we have different like tax
Oh,
gaps where we have to pay a certain percentage
Yeah.
of tax on our money earned.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, so so personal allowance is 2.5 grand, but then anything up to 50,000 is 20%.
Okay, yeah. So anything up to 50,000, we have to pay 20% tax on. So yeah, let's say we earn 50,000. What? That's 10k gone, right? Yeah, 10k of that is not ours. That's the government's money. Do you
Yeah.
have? Obviously, is that similar in Denmark, or is it more or less?
I would say there's a pretty high taxation in Denmark, yeah, because we have a welfare state and everything. So I think our I don't know what you call it, but the amount of money you're allowed to earn without having to pay.
Yeah,
I think that's quite high here. I think it's like I would say 4,500 pounds ish.
4,500. Yeah. Yeah.
4,500 pounds you're allowed to make a year without paying tax.
Okay.
That's it.
Wait, no, that's quite less. For us, it's like 11,500.
No, ours is 12.5 grand.
Oh, 12
Oh, I
and a
thought
half.
you said
Okay.
something. Okay, so I,
Yeah,
I used
so
the wrong
12
set.
and a half.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
so ours is 12.5 grand with nothing. Like you can earn up to that when you get no tax at all.
Okay, so it's significantly less here, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
And
crazy.
I think the standard is like 35%. Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, so pretty high tax, like as
So
it
if you
goes.
earn like £5,000, equivalent to your to Danish kroner, that's
Yeah.
you lose 35%.
Yeah.
What? That's
Wow.
crazy.
Yeah, you do.
What?
But there's a lot of I mean that just means there's a lot of other stuff you don't have to pay
Yes,
for.
that's
I
what I was
mean,
gonna
I don't
say. There must be a lot of free things involved.
exactly. There's loads of free things like school, university.
Oh, of course, uni. That.
Wait, you don't have
Yeah,
to pay for
yeah.
uni.
No,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
completely
yeah.
free. It's
Mate, this
completely
is the
free.
UK. The UK is the
What?
issue. The UK is the issue.
There's a lot of things I don't even know about. I'm not even very good with like politics and all
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
but there's loads of things that just means it's kind of free, I mean, good healthcare system and everything.
yeah.
Is it all free
Uh,
healthcare?
yeah.
Oh,
What
okay.
about like dentists and stuff? Dentists,
Oh, that's
opticians.
expensive as hell, but
Oh, is
yeah.
it?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Any
I mean,
transport as well?
I don't know if it's more expensive than you.
I don't know. Ours is how much is it for a checkup? How much? I think I paid
It's
30
like
quid for a
20,
checkup.
20, 30 pounds. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's just like
I would say a minimum would be like 40, maybe 45
damn.
minimum.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never had any like
Rough.
proper work done on my teeth to be fair, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it's
Well,
quite expensive.
yeah. Braces was like a couple £1,000,
Yeah,
but
braces is a
luckily
couple
I
grand.
was on the
Yeah,
NHS, so I didn't have to.
same. Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no public transport that's free, even with a like
No.
35%.
No, I'm paying like I think it's about like 80 pounds a month for like using public transport free for a month.
Wow.
Kind
Is,
of
is
kind of
that
free. I
everything
mean,
included? Like
it's
buses,
like
trains?
buses, trains, metros. It's like on the I think like the right island where I live. It's kind of like split
Yeah.
up in half, so I can transfer myself around freely in that's in my side.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, there's different options. You can pay like for a single ticket. You could get like different types of cards and stuff.
Wow. That's
Um,
crazy.
but yeah, I mean, there's some other stuff we haven't even probably touched on that's just free here compared to you,
Yeah, of
because we
course.
pay
Yeah.
so much more in taxes, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing for us is obviously over 50k. I think people that earn over 50k pay 40%. I think was the 30. Either way, it goes up and up. So
Yeah.
once you earn
So
over
what's
100,
the maximum?
I think over 100k,
150.
it's 150. There you go.
150.
Is that
Yeah.
50%?
So it's 12 and a half grand to 50,000 is just 20%.
Yep.
So like, but you get, I think it works. So no matter how much you make, you get 12,500 tax free, right?
Yep.
But
Yep.
then it's the rest of it, it's the leftover that's taxed. So
Yeah.
if you earn 22,500, then you get 12,500 tax free, and then the 10 grand is the stuff that's taxed. Like the leftover 10 grand is taxed 20%.
So yeah, you lose about 2k. Yeah.
Yeah, but so then it's 50k to 150k is just 45. It's 40%, and then anything above 150 is 45.
Okay. So if I'm earning like 150k, half of that is
Yeah.
pretty much gone to the government.
Yeah, just under like
Yeah, it'd be
40%
like
pretty much.
yeah, that's mad. I can't imagine like earning 150 and only getting like 2/3 of it.
Yeah, but then that's the thing, man. You think it's just like Dan said, it's the balance, because if you're in Denmark and you're a low wage worker, you're getting quite a lot cut out from tax, but then you're getting benefits. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
if you're getting 150 grand, you're well off. And you're not struggling. You
Yeah.
can afford to like pay for stuff like you're funding the NHS. You're funding like council projects, stuff like that. Like all the big renovations,
Yeah, that's
happen
very
just
true
in
actually.
your town. Like that's all just getting paid for by that. And
Mm.
obviously, like now, especially like nowadays, funding stuff like the NHS is pretty vital. So I wouldn't say the tax rate is,
Too
well,
harsh.
obviously, like I'm a little bit biased, like just personally and politically, I feel like the tax rate here is like pretty fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I think
think
depends on the mindset as well. If you look at your paycheck every week or every month and you're like, damn, look at all this money I'm losing because I'm paying to the government.
Yeah,
Or you could be like, okay, this is what I'm getting, fine. I don't have to worry about what I'm actually like paying outside of that.
yeah, exactly. If I was making 200 grand and I was looking at the numbers every month
Yeah.
about how much they were taking, I'd probably be quite annoyed because it's a shitload. But
Yeah, but
it, like, yeah,
you could choose to think about it differently.
yeah,
You could choose to
exactly.
like just accept, just like, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah,
that's mad. So obviously going to uni, we have here you can actually for the first year you can actually stay in the uni
Mm.
on the uni campus, right, Finn?
yeah. So
Yeah.
you get like, well, all the universities in the UK offer it's called accommodation. So it's just
Yeah.
like basically blocks of flats that are really basic, really cheap.
Yeah.
Like, well, I say really cheap, they're not actually that cheap. Like mine was something like 110 quid a week, something like that. Like, so it racks up pretty rapidly. And I had some pretty grim stuff going on. Like I had the place where I stayed has these things called silverfish. I don't know if
Oh
you know what
yeah, I
they
know what
are.
they are. Yeah.
Oh, I think I
Minecraft.
know where they are.
These little insects, and
Yeah.
basically they were everywhere. Like
Jesus.
under the sink, like they'd crawl over. You'd have to wash your dishes before you ate because they had been like crawling all over the floor and
No.
laying eggs on them.
No, dude.
Yeah, it was gross. So like the standard for accommodations pretty low, and they're basically just super basic, dirty, like flats, just huge blocks.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's any similar to in Denmark at all. For
We
first year,
don't we
it's
don't
only
get
first year usually.
Is it only first year? I mean,
For
we don't get it
most of the
offered
time, yeah.
anything. We don't
Really?
get anything. No, 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 no. Not at all. I
So
mean,
That's mad.
a lot of people like obviously move when they go to university, but they have to like find something outside, like completely outside of what the university offers. Yeah.
Well, like a
Just-
flat.
yeah, I mean, just
Damn.
a proper apartment, yeah, or anything.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
so I think it's part of the UK uni culture because everyone's packed in,
Yeah.
and everyone's just like everyone's in these horrible rooms, so everyone ends up just getting drunk all the time.
Yeah, I
Just
mean
trying to,
that's I
trying to
mean
avoid the
I
pain.
think that sounds pretty fun, to be honest.
Yeah, no,
I
like
don't know.
honestly,
Yeah.
it's weird because I'm in a house now, like a uni house, and it's like way nicer than my accommodation. But in some ways, I miss the accommodation because it's so fun. Like so many
Yeah.
people, like just outside the door. Like I was living in this on this ground of 27 blocks of flats, and each block had like 4 or 5 floors, and each floor had
No.
2 sides with like 8 people in it. Like it was crazy. Like it was mental.
Jesus. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, if you're into that, that's honestly gotta be so fun. Imagine
Yeah.
if you're
No.
like, I mean, do you have to go to there? Do you have to go to those accommodation spots?
Well, it's kind of tricky because those are the most popular ones. There's different types, so it depends what uni you go to. But for my uni, there were just so there's lots of different types of accommodation. So there's some for people who want their food cooked for them, so you pay a bit extra and they cook you
Mm.
food every dinner.
What?
Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah, just catered. Or there's so the one I was in was just normal, like no catered. You just get a kitchen. There was 8 people in the flat, like 2 ovens, 2 fridges, 2 freezers. That's it.
Yeah.
And then some of them are like really small number of people. Like you'd only share a flat with 3 other people. Some of them, because I live in Wales, some of them were like special for Welsh speakers, so only Welsh speakers can live there. Like there's all sorts of different stuff. But then some people obviously choose to live in like student houses. So
Mm.
just inside the city, there's pretty rubbishy houses, but they're cheap as hell.
Right. I mean, if you don't have the budget for it, you can kind of like accept all sorts of things, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If you just want to be close to it and to everything.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah.
Yes. So
Uh,
with the budget there, Dan, because for me, let's say I want to move out. If I want to move out now, the average rent around here, I'd say for a single flat is like for a decent one, not like like a shithole, probably like 700 upwards easily, just for a single bed.
Yeah.
£700 that is. So obviously I don't know the equivalent in krona, but
yeah.
and for us, if I'm working full time, that's like 3/4 of my salary from a month.
Is that
It,
like what did you say that was? Sorry.
Seven
6,000 Danish kroner.
Yeah, 6,000. Yeah.
per month just to live by
Yeah.
myself. That's just by myself in that flat. Is
Is
that
that
sort
Like
of
a
similar?
bedroom.
Yeah,
Just
but
a
it depends
bed.
on where you are, right? So where like what type of environment is it? Is it like in the
It's
city?
like a town. No, it's a town.
It's a town, yeah.
We don't live in this
I
major city. We live near London, but we don't live in the city. Nice, chill town. Nothing mental.
I mean, yeah, that's I mean I feel like that's if you go I would say the cheapest areas to get an apartment in Denmark is like uh what would that be like 3,500? No, sorry, 350. 350 pounds ish.
Per
That's the
month.
cheapest. Yeah, per
That's
month.
so nice. Yeah, that's decent.
Yeah,
That's
and then yeah, but then that's like really out there. And
Right.
then once
Okay.
you get that's when you get to when you get to the cities, and then like especially Copenhagen, I think it's like I would say Copenhagen is on average like for one person, I would say it's like 800 pounds
Wow.
average.
But then again, that's
Uh,
a city. Like that's
yeah,
understandable in a way.
yeah, that's a city. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
But even outside of that, it's not even that much less. I mean, I feel like it's super expensive. And then they build these student apartments that they could literally call them like apartments for like students, you know, like for youth.
yeah.
And they just like they set the price so high that no one can afford to pay it. Like the young people can't even afford to pay for that. So it's crazy. I mean, they literally call it buildings for these people, but they need like 2 jobs and
yeah.
everything to pay for it. I mean, we get the thing as well. So obviously, another benefit is we get paid to go to school. We literally get money from the government.
Wait, what?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I remember you telling me this. This is nuts.
yeah, yeah, you get paid. I mean, I get practically my rent as paid from the government from going to school.
You
So
serious?
you'd
Yeah, I'm
be
serious. I'm
crazy. You'd
serious.
be crazy not to go to like university. Like you get paid
Yeah,
to go university.
yeah, yeah.
Mate, I pay 9,000. I pay 9,000 just for a chance to get the qualification, and then I
Jesus.
pay, and that's not even including my accommodation. That's not including accommodation.
Oh Lord.
No, you pay nearly 10,000. It's 9.7, isn't it?
Yeah, and then I've got because so to even live and to pay the uni fees, I have to take out a fat loan, and then as soon as this is over, they're gonna be they tax me on the like I have to pay that loan back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna be like 30 grand, something crazy.
Jeez. You can do extra loans on top of like SU. It's called SU, like SU. Um, um, but yeah, you get paid a lot, and you obviously get paid way more if you move out from your parents. If you live with your parents, you don't get as much, not nearly
Yeah.
as much. But if you move out and you kind of like live independently, then yeah, you get paid a lot more.
Man, what? This is such a deal. I want to go. Why do I not live here?
That's insane. That's a crazy
Literally,
difference.
that is such a setup.
Yeah.
Why?
So
Oh,
right now I get paid about like £700 a month.
holy shit.
That's nearly
Holy
more than
shit.
I earn, like when I actually proper try and work.
That's double my rent and bills for a month.
It's
That's
pretty good.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's nice, yeah. So is that
Then
just
obviously, I mean, yeah, but then again, we pay more in taxes, so I
Yeah,
mean,
true.
Yeah.
it
It's
evens out.
balanced. Yeah.
It evens out more than you think
But
about.
is
Yeah,
that
sure,
For
but
sure.
is that just your university or is that every university in Denmark?
that's everything. Yeah,
Every
that's even high school.
Wait, you
like-
get paid
God
to go to high
damn.
school
Yeah, you have to be 18. So it's gonna be your last year of high school probably.
and you
but
get paid?
Yeah.
No way. That's
We're being scammed. We're being scammed.
Oh, that's crazy.
Truly, that's how it is. Yeah.
UK government has got us like on lockdown. It's just
'Cause
mugging us off.
That would generally change my perspective on you. I'd probably go to university if I got paid to go.
Mate.
Yeah, but it's not like you can just slack off. You have to be
No, of
active.
course. But even
Yeah.
if like it was free, I'd still go because it's
Yeah.
an opportunity to learn something new in an environment that's like trying to help you learn, and I think that's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's like work without working, but you're actually like learning.
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah.
all new life experiences, which is perfect. But the fact that there's
Yeah.
like a heavy price tag on it just is a bit.
So if you keep studying, Dan, if you keep going on, so like you
Mhm.
said, you do 3-year course and then you can do like an extra 2 years to do like a master's or whatever.
Yeah.
If you decide to like after that just take another degree, do you still get paid?
I checked up on this recently. There's like 70 month you can do, so you get paid 70 month max.
Okay.
Is that 5 years? Or
70.
5 and a bit years?
Yeah, that's
5
like
and a bit
that's
years.
60 is 5 years, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, okay, yeah.
Nearly 6
Yeah.
years.
Nearly cover you for like 2 just basic
Right.
like bachelor degrees, yeah. Okay.
And
damn.
then because I think it's expected that once you're done with those coming 5 first years and you want to do even more, because I mean, if you want to be like a medical student, that's like 9 years, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So when you get to like those couple of last years, I think it's expected that you kind of like have something going, job next year. Like I think, yeah, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's like 70 months max, and
Sure.
then you can do loans. You can like there's even like some different programs where you can extend it, but you do, but that's the standard, yeah.
Yeah. That's blown my mind. That's blown my mind.
Oh,
I
that's
can't
great.
believe it.
But
Yeah.
is that all dependent on, like you said, if you live at home, obviously you get paid less. But is it different per person, or is it like a set rate?
If you live at home, it depends on like the earnings of your parents. So
Okay,
they
that's
check-
similar
they
here
check how
to
much-
us. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same as a student loan, but basically it's just like you still have to get a loan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of them, it's not like, oh yeah, my parents get like this much, and they're like, okay, here's your money. It's like, oh yeah, my parents get this much, and they're like, oh, by the way, you owe us this like 30 grand in a few years. That's crazy. So does it only apply to Danish nationals, or does it apply to anyone that goes to Danish university?
I think it applies to. I don't even know. I feel like it probably. I feel like it goes to everyone. Yeah, if you go to university, you probably. I mean, no, you probably have to be a citizen. I think you have to probably be a Danish citizen. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could imagine.
Damn.
I'm not sure. I don't know, but
Yeah, but I was looking at universities abroad, and they're actually a lot cheaper, like a third of the price. I know that universities in Netherlands are roughly like 3,000, I think. I was looking at some of them, just compared to England. So they're about third
how
the
much
price.
it costs? How much it costs to go there?
Yeah, tuition is about 3,000,
okay,
which
okay.
is a lot cheaper than ours, obviously.
Well, like Germany, Norway, Sweden, Austria, Finland, Czechia, and France all offer free university tuition for international students.
So it's almost like a European standard, and you guys are.
Yeah, literally, we're just
Oh,
scumbags.
bro.
Oh, shit.
International students in the UK have really bad fees. Like they
Yeah.
pay a lot.
Yeah, I swear they pay way more than us, like
Mate,
double,
way more, way
like
more.
20k a year, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. They pay a lot more.
20k.
But then also like a lot of the trend, at least where I go, and a few other unis I know, is they have this private accommodation in my city, so in Cardiff. Like I said, so we've got the uni accommodation, which is cheap, rubbish, really loud, really
Yeah.
like just drunk people all the time.
Mm.
And then there's the private accommodation, which is a private company that works with the uni. So the uni like refers students to them, and it's like really nice, like really high, like you get your own ensuite, you get a massive room, you get a double bed, TV catered for, you have a gym and like on-site cinema. Like I've seen, like there's people who have got cinemas in their buildings,
Jesus.
and like
No.
a lot of the international students like all go there. So they're all paying like extra for these crazy accommodations because
Mm.
obviously like if you're coming in, like obviously like a good amount of them do go into the cheap accommodation, but quite a lot of them, or at least the majority of them, go into these private accommodation houses, which are crazy expensive and really like quite luxurious compared to like what other students have got.
Yeah, do you think that's because they already paid so much that they must be on the wealthier side? So paying like that accommodation fee just isn't as much compared to.
I think it's that, as well as the fact that honestly, that's just the trend. Like that's where the international students usually go. So I think they go there so they can meet other international students and feel more comfortable, rather than sort of like going to the UK and then here's a fucking bunch of rowdy British
Yeah.
students who all
Yeah.
just want to drink. Like
Yeah.
if I was going to a different country, I would probably do the same thing. Like if I was going to
Yeah.
Sweden to go to uni, I'd probably want to be meeting other international students or living with them,
But
probably just because it's like easier to relate.
is there
Right,
is it,
but it's a balance, right? Because you also want to socialize yourself with the actual like culture. If you
Yeah,
want to learn the
100%.
culture, right?
Yeah,
And so you have to like if you want to learn the language as well.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
is there sort of a trend of like what type of international students there is, or is it just like a variety?
No, there's a variety. Like in the cheap, basically, it's just like Dan said. Like if you go to the cheaper accommodation, basically what you want to do is you want to have a good time and get pissed, and you want to just meet as many people as possible. Like if you're really sociable and outgoing, you just go to the cheap accommodation. But if
Yeah.
maybe you're like from a rich family, or maybe if you're like a bit more shy, then you'll just go to the private accommodation, so you don't have to. Basically, like a lot of them just don't leave their rooms because they don't have
Right.
to, because everything's there. They've got a kitchen, they've got their own,
Mm.
like they got everything there, so it's just so chilled.
Yeah.
So they were ready for coronavirus.
Yeah, man, they're Philly.
That's mad.
I know.
How
Imagine that.
how much more are we talking though per month?
Well, okay. I'll try and get it.
Because that sounds like I'd probably just go there just because it sounds awesome. Like if it's surely I'm expecting like a couple of like maybe like 1,500 a month, like 1.5k. Indoor cinema, kitchen. Well, everyone ever has a kitchen, toilet.
Yeah.
Um, do you have a toilet in your own room, Dan? Or is it per house?
In my room? What do you mean?
Yeah. Do you have a toilet like a bathroom en suite? Like
Well, in my private apartment.
yeah, where you are right now, do you have like a toilet in your room?
Yeah. Well, no, it's not like I have a room and that's it. It's like a standard apartment that I share with two other people. So we share a toilet.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
in the accommodations in England, usually I'd say the majority have their own toilet. So you have 8 toilets in one house.
I'd say it's half and half.
Okay, half and half then.
I find.
Are you talking about general housing, like every
No, no, no.
apartment, like houses and everything? What are you talking about?
Like
Yeah. So the accommodations.
no, I'm talking about the
So the
university, like first year.
yeah. So
So
the
okay,
accommodations in
yeah, yeah,
uni, right?
Right,
just
but
first
I'm
uni,
just,
yeah.
yeah, I'm just trying to say you can't compare that to what I have right now because it has nothing to do
That's
with
different.
university or
Yeah, yeah,
anything.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I see what you mean.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Spend it looks pretty like varied, but like so my accommodation was pretty expensive for what it was. Like it was 100 like 110 per
10
week.
per week, yeah.
But the private stuff goes up to like 170 per week. Like
That's
Right.
not even that bad. Like I was expecting a lot more.
for real.
Yeah, I obviously that is bad, but I was expecting like
But
a couple
that's the
thousand.
thing though. This week, that's a week.
Yeah, I know it is. I know, but I was still expecting
A
like
thousand
over a thousand.
per week.
No, per month.
Oh right.
That's nowhere near.
Well,
That's like
It's like
what?
a 50%
but
increase, right?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
50% more. It's still pretty, over
Yeah,
weeks of,
fair
and
enough. Yeah,
plus
it makes
like
sense.
a lot of the time they don't go into like a house. So that generally, as a rule, you in the second year and the third year, and you'll if you do a fourth year, then you'll go into a shared house.
Yeah,
So it's like cheaper, and it's like a little bit nicer maybe. Depends on the house, to be honest. But
depends on the
a lot of the
area.
time,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of the time they just stay in the private accommodation for the whole time of the whole duration of the degree.
Yeah.
Wow. For 3 years as well. 3, 4 years.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's
That depends on like what you want to do. I mean,
Yeah.
when I go to Spain, like I definitely want to like I don't because I think I have a fear of like meeting up with too many international students because then we would probably just speak English to each other and then I don't even learn the language. That's why I'm there, you know. So I need to like mingle with the locals. Uh, just like try and honestly just try and stay away from international students.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
that's
definitely
a
the
good
smart.
point. Yeah,
I think that's the best thing to do.
If you want to, yeah, if you want to be learning it, you can't
No, no,
be
no.
like not. You got to embrace it. You got to embrace it.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be scary as shit, but I mean,
Hell yeah.
oh yeah. On the other podcast, like my cousin said when she first went traveling by herself, she said it was obviously she got on the plane. She was like, "What am I doing?" You know. But obviously by
yeah,
that point it's too late. She's committed to it. She said really
yeah,
enjoyed it. Would always do it. She still does it by herself. So
yeah,
obviously something out there must be good. So just like putting yourself out there is the scary bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I reckon like
But
the
I
life
think the
experience
benefits
is
from
good.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Awesome.
But just like even the professional benefits, you can apply that to like me, something like me learning the language so much more well, or so much better in Spain in the actual like field you could say
Mm,
is just something like the teachers here can never teach me as much as I could learn in like 5 months in Spain.
exactly. Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's gonna be the same for any language. Like as long as if you go to the language and you talk to the nationals there, and you just sort of just basically force yourself to either learn the language or struggle, then you're going to end up learning the language over a period of time. Like,
yeah,
there's stories of people who go to like France for a year, they don't know anything, and then they come back fluent. Like, that's all it
yeah,
took, like a year, just because they're embracing the culture. It's pretty
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Mind blowing stuff.
That's the
Mm,
inspiring bit about it.
yeah.
Exciting times. Well, I've covered everything I wanted to. Anything else to add, gents?
Nah, I think
No.
Happy with it?
yeah,
Yeah, man.
definitely happy. Yeah.
Definitely.
Awesome.
Now you
It's
know
good
everything
stuff.
about Denmark and
Yeah, man.
freaking
It's been
politics.
insightful. I want to
That's
go
Yeah,
there now.
definitely. I'll
Copenhagen. I
show
really
you
want to
around.
go to still. It's
Yeah,
beautiful. It looks beautiful.
yeah, you should. You should get
Let's
here
head
on a
over,
Friday.
Spencer.
Get here on a Friday, and then we'll do something fun.
I was meant to come out like with Morg this month. It was meant to be like April time, but obviously coronavirus happened.
Mm.
Had you proper planned it, or
Yeah, we were
was
talking
it just
about it.
like
Yeah.
yeah, okay,
We're talking about like January, February time. We're gonna come out. But obviously, this started unfolding during end of Feb. I was like, oh,
yeah,
that's ruined. So same with
yeah.
Tomorrowland as well.
It's
I
the
mean, we
best.
couldn't even get tickets. Like that was sold
No,
out
no, no.
quick.
They sold out in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
No, I mean I think our prime minister said no big gatherings, no parties or anything until like September. So I said September.
Shit.
When she said that, I was like,
Oh
fuck. Like,
no, that's gonna be
That's
similar
yeah.
for us
smart though.
then.
Like,
That's
well,
smart.
I know. You can't say it's a bad idea, but
it's
it's,
not. That's the thing though. Yeah, you know it's good. It's the thing that has to happen, but it's so
yeah,
sad to know that
yeah,
it's
yeah,
gonna, especially over summer. Like, why does it have to
yeah,
be summer?
yeah. Exactly.
So annoying.
Yeah, it is what it is. We'll get
Yeah,
over it.
for sure. But yeah,
It's
I'm
been
pretty happy with
awesome.
that.
It's been
I'm
awesome, gents.
inspired.
It's
I
been
want to
good.
go away and learn a language.
That's good. That's good.
Let's go. You pick up that Swedish, you'll dominate it.
Yeah, man. I'll do Swedish, then I'm gonna do Danish, then I'm gonna come for German. I'm gonna conquer it all, mate.
Like that.
Yeah.
Conquer Europe.
Awesome. All right.
All right.
I'll leave you gents later. Have a lovely
All right.
Monday evening.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you
You
for
as well.
inviting
joining
me
us. No
for this
worries.
show. Yeah, it was fun.
Cheers, Dan. It was good meeting
Thank you.
you.
Likewise.